Hello, my people. How you doing? Hope you're doing great. Yeah, it's good to have like one-on-one talk with you. So today I'm not hiding behind Zoom. Okay, I'm here with you. How are you doing? Hope you're doing great. You're welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tabi Emilia, and I talk about schooling. I talk about immigration. I talk about integration. I talk about Finland. Okay, anything that's to do with education in Finland, I am so interested to talk about and also learn about it. Okay. All right. So I started talking about the 2026 joint application. It's upcoming, and I want to focus on some tips, some of the things you should look out for because studying in Finland these days is not just about getting admission and moving. It entails a lot. Okay, you have to do a lot of planning even before submitting that application form. And during my last video, I talked about you researching the program, knowing which program to choose, knowing which university to choose, and some of the documents that you need. So if you haven't watched my last video, please check it out. Today, I'll be focusing on money matters. How much do you need, or what are some of the things that will cost you money when it comes to you moving to Finland as an international student, and how can you minimize your cost? Okay. One thing I want to talk about, and I really want to state here, I always talk about this. If you've been with me, do not pay someone to apply for you. Don't do that. Don't. It's not worth it. And also, it is not safe. Imagine you move into a country, you want to study a particular program, and you know nothing about that program. Doesn't make sense. You want to be involved. You want to know what you're coming to study. You want to know the university. You want to know more about that country. It makes a lot of sense. So if you just pay someone and they apply, and I had a situation I think 2 years ago where two students they reached out to me and they're like, "Mom, you're saying that uh, uh, universities they've sent emails to students about the entrance exam. I haven't received any email. Or I also applied for a master's program. I didn't even receive a confirmation email." I'm like, what? How? There's no way you apply, you submit the application form without receiving a confirmation email. And they were shocked. Yes, you have to receive a confirmation email once you submit your application form. That is how it works. And that is why they always caution you to enter your email address twice so that you are sure, because that is the only form of communication. Apparently, the guy they paid also, because when I asked, did you pay your application fee? They said yes, they paid the application fee. Okay, was it? I think last year, yeah, they paid the application fee. And I was like, if you paid your application fee, then obviously, even if you didn't pay the application fee, once you submit your application form, you get the notification confirming. So if you didn't get that first notification, then there was no application, nothing like that. So they had paid someone, that person asked for, I think, 150 euros for application fee. Meanwhile, application fee is 100 euros. And I begin to wonder, you're contacting me, it means that you've been on my channel. Is it that you have something, is something wrong with your head or your ears? Because I was shouting at the top of my voice here, application fee 100 euros, and you're giving somebody 150 euros for application fee. Like, how come? So these are like, there's a lot out there, and this is just one example that I want to point out, that at the end of the day, no confirmation email, and that was how he missed out, because the said guy didn't apply for him. Okay, so please, applying for a school in program in Finland is very easy. The application form is not that complicated. And even if you're scared, I always talk about this. And I always have tutorials. Like whenever the joint application opens, I go through it and I post it on my YouTube channel. It's free. You can get this information. You can look at what I'm doing and you feel yours. You don't have to pay anyone. So that way you are minimizing costs. You can go to the university website to know more about the university. You can research more about it. You have ChatGPT, you have YouTube, like there's information everywhere. So please do not pay anybody for such service. It's something that you can do. All right. So the first thing you're gonna, spend on is if you are supposed to use the International English Language Test as your proof, okay, for English proficiency. I say if because if you are studying for a master's program, if you're applying for a master's program, what happens is some universities, they have like list of countries. Like if you're coming from one of those countries, you are exempted from using the IELTS or TOEFL as proof of your English language proficiency. Okay, so for example, if I'm from Cameroon and I studied like my bachelor's degree in English, then I don't have to take the English language test. Okay, so my transcript of records, my degree certificate will, I just have to show it that I studied in English. So that's it. So if you want to apply for a master's program from some of these universities, like Abo Academy, I think University of Helsinki, I don't know if they are doing it this year again, but yeah, so we have more universities are coming up like with these exemptions. They're adding more countries to this exemption list. Okay, so please go through the university website, check if your country is among. I'm talking about master's programs, but if you're applying for bachelor's degree programs from University of Applied Science, most of them, like 98%, you need to show the proof of English through the International English Language Test. Okay, so if you're writing that, obviously, if you're taking that, you're spending money. It costs a lot. Okay, so you spend money for that. I think in Finland here it's almost like 300 and some 300 euros or something or more. So you're spending money for that. If you're applying to vocational schools like Vamia, you spend money on Duolingo test, but the Duolingo, it doesn't cost much as compared to the others. Okay, so that's the first instance where you spend money. So when the application period opens and you fill your application form, you submit it, you are supposed to pay application fee of 100 euros. 100 euros. So let no one deceive you, it's 100 euros. So you pay the application fee after submitting your application form. It's a must. If you don't pay the application fee, your application will not go through. So please pay the application fee. So there you spend 100 euros. Okay, so I didn't talk about passports and everything because obviously if you want to travel abroad, you already have your passport. So I don't want to mention that. Now, so this is all you need to spend on during the application period. Okay, application fee, the English language proficiency, English language test if you have to show it. Scanning your documents, all those things, those are minute things that I don't really want to talk about, but that's all you need to spend at like during the application process. Now, after the application and maybe you admitted, what are you supposed to do when it comes to money? You need to have your fees ready. Now, I don't know if I want to talk about fees. I think I'll end here because I want to focus on fees before I even move forward. The thing with fees is that fees has to do with how will you survive in Finland, because that's a huge part. Now, if you have 20,000 euros, you have that's your budget, and you see a program, you are really interested in this program, and the program costs 18,000 or 15,000 euros. Are you going to choose that program? Let me know in the comment section. Me, I will not, because the truth is, okay, I have 20,000 euros to start with, and fees is 18,000 or 15,000. I have just 5,000 euros left. I'll need to show money as means of support to migrate before I move here. I'll also need to buy my insurance. I'll need to do have other financial, issues to sort out. Your feeding and everything, accommodation, it comes from that money. So I won't. And this is why I use this example, because most times students are so eager and they just, oh, this is a good program, I'm going to take it. They don't focus on the fees. The fees is very important. Okay. So look at your financial situation before you choose a program. If you can afford a 20,000 euros per academic year program, go for it. If you cannot afford it, look at your budget and then you start looking at programs that will cost you maybe 6,000, 8,000 euros. That way you'll be able to manage. Okay, it is very important to take this into consideration, and it's advisable to have at least your fees for 2 years, 2 academic years, because there is no guarantee that when you move to Finland, you'll pick up a job. And even if you pick up a job, there is still no guarantee that you have a job that will sustain your day-to-day expenses and you'll be able to save maybe 15,000 or 18,000 euros for the next academic year. So that's why I advise you to look at how much you have, your financial situation, before choosing the program based on fees. So this is very, very important. The reason why most students, when they move to Finland and they start going through difficult uh, financial crises, it is because they just know, oh, I have the fees for this year. But what about next year? What about if you are doing a bachelor program? What about the next 2 or 3 years? Are you able to pay that money? That should be your question. If my fees is this low, then I can manage. But if it's this high, then it's difficult for you to manage. One thing you have to notice that you can some may say, when I move here, if I can't afford the fees, I'll let go. No, the fact that you have a residence permit for the entire duration of your studies does not mean that Migri don't check. They don't check it. They check these things, and you just sit like that, you receive an email from them. So please, if you really want to enjoy your study in Finland, sorry, there's a little bit of noise. It's Saturday, everyone is home and I can't control it that much. So if you can't really afford for a program, please do not venture into it. Make sure you are financially ready to take up this challenge. So the fees will cover a huge part. How can you minimize cost when it comes to the fees? Some universities, they have the early bird discount. Some universities, they have like scholarships as well. So you may take advantage of this as well. So with the early bird discount, you must have the money ready, because they will tell you if you pay your fees within 1 week of you receiving your positive admission result, then maybe you have 500 euros or 1,500 euros discount. So that's the early bird. Okay, so you can minimize costs by taking advantage of that. You can also minimize costs when you choose a program or a university that offers scholarships. Okay, there are some universities that have like 30% scholarship to all first year students. So you have universities like that. That's how you could minimize costs. So you just look at some of these universities, and there are also universities that have like Finland scholarship, that have 100% scholarships. So you can move here and study for free. So you can check all those options. Okay, there are university students that are living, studying, enjoying life in Finland in universities for free, because they applied for the 100% scholarship and they got in. And the thing with these scholarships is that it's not for a particular student, no. And you don't need to submit a separate application form, no. As long as you're applying on your application form, you have a place where they will just ask you, would you like to apply for this scholarship? Just put yes. They will make the decision. So that's how you can minimize cost when it comes to the fees. So when you are done with the fees, you need, like I talk about, the means of support. You also need money for that as well. So that money needs to be in your bank account, in a current bank account. Okay. With this, if you have if your dad, your mom, your sibling, your uncle, your boss, if they want to sponsor your studies, then they could put money in your bank account, and they write an affidavit stating that they're in charge, okay, of this. So that way you don't have to spend the money. They will put the money into your account and you're good to go. So you are not bringing that money. But if you don't have anyone that is ready to support you and sponsor you, then you have to be the one to provide that money. Okay, so the money will be in your bank account with your name, everything, not your uncle's or your father's name. Your father is giving you that money for you to come to Finland with and use it to pay your rent, for feeding and every other thing. Okay, so that's also part of the spending. You also need to buy health insurance. It's not that big. I think 200 euros, highest 300 that I've heard of. You buy the health insurance as well. Where you spend money as well is when you're submitting your residence permit application through the Migrate's website, or even if it's face to face, you pay money too. You spend enough money. Now, for those of you that are from Cameroon, or if there's no Finnish embassy in your country, you also spend a lot of money because you buy flight to go for embassy visit. That's huge. That's a lot of money as well, because we're talking about you're paying flight, you're booking hotel, you're doing hotel reservation. That's money. But if you have the Finnish embassy in your home country, you don't really have to spend on flights or hotel reservation. That way, you minimize costs. Okay. So I just want to end here because I don't want to go deep into when you move to Finland. I'm gonna talk about that later. But I just want to give you like a rough estimate as to, or summary of where and how you can minimize cost, and what are some of the things that will really take a lot of money. In summary, fees takes the highest, and it's a continuous thing. Okay, it's not a one-time thing. So that's why you need to be careful when you choose the program. The second thing is means of support. That's also a huge sum of money. Um, and then I talked about you writing the international English language test. You spend money. You're paying the application fee. You spend money. Health insurance. That is later on when you're admitted and you want to apply for your residence permit. You spend money on the health insurance. So these are the areas where you spend money. But as of now, so if you're applying next month or in January, all you need to do, have the amount of money that you need to have is the money. It should be equivalent to you how much you spend on the international English language test if you need to take it, or and also the 100 euros application fee. That's all you need. Okay, so I really hope this was helpful to you, and if it was helpful to you, please give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends. And if you've watched me right up to this moment, thumbs up to you. You're serious. Okay, you really want to get more information, and these are really great information, and that I wish I didn't have access to this great information before moving to Finland. So this is great that you have to start thinking about some of these things and make adjustments before you apply. Okay, all right, thank you so much for watching. God bless you and have an amazing week. See you when next you see me.